Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and today we're talking about morning motivation. Now, what do I mean by that? Why morning motivation instead of just motivation in general? Well, I've read a number of studies that claim that your attitude is set very quickly into a day, and this seems to dovetail with my anecdotal experience. The quote I heard was 8 minutes. In the first 8 minutes, usually your attitude for the day is set. So if you wake up and you realize that you're behind schedule and you're feeling rushed, typically you will feel rushed all day. If something happens in the first hour or so, let's say you're going on the way to work and you're standing on the curb and some water gets splashed on you, or you suffer a setback of some kind and it happens early in the morning, what does that tend to do to your day? Typically, that derails it. We tend to get frustrated. And part of this is because I've talked before about willpower and the fact that we have a kind of a willpower, a video game meter, if you will. And when you walk by, the bakery and you smell your favorite donut and you say no, that depletes your willpower a little bit. And when you get to the work and your coworker says, hey, do you want to go out after work? And you have to summon the energy to make an excuse and say, no, I don't want to go. That saps a little bit of your willpower. And I feel like if we were to gamify this, let's say it costs 10 willpower in that situation, and maybe 5 to resist the donut. You've got 20 for the day. If you have a bad attitude, each one of those is going to be more expensive. Instead of costing 10, it'll cost 15. Instead of costing, 15, it'll cost 20. It's just going to be higher and more expensive every single time you have to deal with something, and it'll tend to deteriorate your mood. If you're starting off frustrated, you're going to get more frustrated. And you've heard before in previous motivational videos where I've talked about, questioning motivation, like if what's somebody's motive for doing something. If somebody cuts you off in traffic, maybe they're rushing to the hospital because they just got the call that their mom had a heart attack. We don't know. And so I try to believe the best because that tends to be best for my mental state. It's probably not true. They're probably just an asshole. But I don't know that. And if I choose to believe they're an asshole, then I'm going to get angry. And that's going to kind of erode my calm and deplete my willpower, which I don't want to happen. So the way around this in the mornings is when I wake up, I tend to not talk to anybody. I get up, I go into the bathroom, I do a little routine, I put my contacts in, I go to the gym and I start working out. And a full hour has passed before I say a word to anyone. One of the beautiful things about working out at my gym is nobody wants to talk to anybody. We all have noise canceling headphones. Everybody avoids eye contact. We do this little pirouette where we're dancing around the gym, going from machine to machine and trying to politely ignore each other. And during that time, I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for. I'm thinking about my system for the day. What am I going to tackle? And bear in mind that if yesterday was a terrible day and some bad things happened, I have 2 approaches in the morning. I can look at it and say, oh man, I'm going to have to deal with all this stuff. And, life is tough right now. And I've got these challenges, which frequently happen. Or I can say, okay, you know what? Yesterday I screwed up and I did things wrong and I ate badly and I didn't, get as much done and I wasn't as productive as I could have been. Today, I'm going to do better than yesterday. So maybe today it won't even qualify as a great day. Maybe today will just be a good day. But you know what? It'll be better than yesterday, which is a bad day. I try to do these little mental games in the morning. I think about, okay, what can I accomplish today? What do I have power over? What am I grateful for? There are a lot of stresses to being a full-time author. You don't have a steady paycheck. And if you're not selling books, you're not making any money at all. I just heard from another author friend, a good friend I've known for a long time, since the very, very beginning of my self-publishing journey. And they're telling me that they're thinking about getting a part-time job. So it's happening all over. But instead of being overwhelmed by challenges and allowing them to derail me and further erode my mental state, I'm taking a step back. I'm spending my mornings thinking about what am I grateful for? What can I do to improve my situation? How is today going to be better than yesterday? And that's all I really focus on. We get to choose what to focus on. And if you allow your mental state to be derailed, if you allow that willpower bar to deplete early in the day and get eroded, you're going to spend the rest of the day frustrated. You're going to disappoint yourself and you're not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So spend that first little bit of the day, in quiet meditation. And maybe that's why you're in the shower. Just think about the good stuff that's going on. And think about if things were bad in your life a while ago and they improved. Think about how when they were bad, it sucked. And now it's better because you've made some changes. And then resolve to make more changes, to do better. Because all we have to do is do a little bit better today than we did yesterday, no matter how bad things went yesterday. So focus just on today. Think about the things that you're grateful. Get a little morning ritual going on. I mean, if you want to work in visualizations, I certainly do. I think about the author I want to be, and when I'm standing on that treadmill at the gym, or hiking up Mount Burdell in the morning, I'm talking to myself like I'm going to be the best-selling fantasy author, and I'm going to write this great fantasy epic. And it's kind of meandering, but when I come down off that mountain, I feel great about myself because I've taken that hour to sort of get my head right. And I know that not everybody's in a position where you can go hiking every day and do that stuff, but can you put in some earphones and think when you're on your commute to work? Just find your personal use space and really focus on that. Because if you can stay centered and calm most of the time, if you are grateful rather than angry and anxious, you just tend to be more productive. You write better words, you make smarter decisions with your advertising. Your whole business just sort of runs better. And we control that. Tony Robbins says, focus goes where energy flows. Did I say that right? Energy flows where focus goes. So basically, we need to focus on important things. And if we're focused on minutia, then that's where our focus and attention is going to go. Like for me, I love playing video games. And if I've had a super stressful time and I've just hit a milestone and maybe I just published a pre-order, I might take some time and play a video game. And man, I can kill it a weekend. I can drop 20 hours into a brand new game and be like, oh my God, Sunday night, what happened? And so I got to be careful with that. If I focus too much on stuff that's not important, then the important stuff gets pushed aside. And this is where that morning motivation comes in. I have this little ritual in the mornings where not only am I being grateful, but I'm also thinking, okay, I'm going to accomplish A, B, and C today so that I don't have to worry about not getting things done and my situation getting worse. I have that sort of morning check-in. So if you do something similar, if you have any sort of morning ritual at all, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you have questions about my morning ritual, let's hear those too. And finally, if you are going to affirm to yourself that you're making a decision, okay, I'm going to change things in the morning and I'm going to start a morning ritual, do that in the comments. Make that promise out loud so other people hear it. That will give it a little bit more weight. Anyway, guys, I do need to get back to the writing. Archer's Rest is in a couple of days, so we are entertaining quite a few science fiction authors from out of town. Things will be a little chaotic, especially since I have that Ads for Authors course and book going live on April 30th. So lots of work on my end, but I am having a good time. And when I come back from Chicago after the Sell More Book Show, so that's like, second week of May, my schedule will calm down. So all I have to do is tough it out for a few more weeks and things will be great. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me. I need to get back to the writing, and I will see you guys next week.